Welcome to the Cameo Renee podcast. This is a place for those who refuse to sit back and wait for life to unfold. If you're ready to break free from the slow lane and seize every opportunity, you're in the right place. We're all about taking action, making shit happen, and creating the life you desire. Join me as we dive into powerful conversations and strategies that will help you grow your mindset and chase your dreams. Welcome to the Cameo Renee podcast. I am Cameo, and today we're going over how to start your year off right. We are at the end of 2024, about to begin 2025, and I know for me, there's so much to be grateful for. So let's go over some ways to recap your year and then hit the ground running in 2025. Let's get started. So I like to start off almost everything that I do with gratitude. And the way that I do that is a few ways. I like to meditate, pray. During maybe when I'm going to sleep, I'll just go over the things that during the day was like my favorite, really made me happy. So I kind of do that and I recap my whole year, which is really, really fun because sometimes we forget where we were in the beginning of the year or in the middle of the year. And we get to go back to those moments and remember, okay, I am doing good. I am doing better. Or, I wanted that. I wanted to do that 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, and I did it this year. And it really creates an opportunity to celebrate the wins because we all know life gets very busy. And sometimes it's just hard. It's hard to celebrate the wins when you're so busy trying to go after the next goal. If you're like me, that is often the case. So I really, really like this part. And for example, I got to go to Europe this year with my kids and my wife. So that was huge for me. It was such a goal of mine to not only go myself, but bring my children and give them that cultural experience of traveling around Europe on a cruise. I mean, it's definitely one of my top favorite moments of my life. So I am very grateful to have experienced that. And it's definitely something that I'll be putting into my gratitude for 2024. So again, just go over the year, even if it's like something you may not even consider a win. But if you think back and you wanted to do that or accomplish that last year or the year before, and you got to do it, it's important to remember that there's progress. So we want to go over the things that we're grateful for and the things that we have accomplished. Next, we want to goal set. So there's 2 goal settings that I like to do, which 1, personal, and 2, business. They're both very important, but they're both very different as well. So let's say, for example, personal. What is something in your life for you, no one else, for you, that you want to accomplish? For example, do you want to have more savings? Do you want to go to the spa more throughout the year? Get massages? Take care of your mental health? Do you want to have more self-care? Or maybe you want to be a better parent? There are so many ways that we can improve our lives for us that in turn makes the people around us, like our children and our spouses, it makes our lives better for them. So I strongly encourage you to take a look at your personal goals. Many times we get wrapped up in what would make other people happy, maybe being able to afford something for your kid. That would make them happy. I mean, it would make you happy to make them happy, yes, but these personal goals really, really should be personal. So setting up at least 5, I would say, would be ideal. For business, this is more like, what do you want to integrate into your business or your job? Do you want to do more marketing? Do you want to hit a monetary goal? These are all really, really important, and don't think small, especially with your business. You can minimize what you think your potential is very quickly. And we don't want to do that. We're dreaming here. We're dreamers. We're going to set our goals way above what we think we can do. Now, they need to be a little attainable. So if you are starting a business and you say my goal is to hit 1,500,000 in my first year, I don't know what business could do that if you're a beginner and you've never done a business. I don't like to say things are impossible, but probably not attainable in your first year of business, ever doing business. So maybe setting a goal of, I'm going to start my business and I'm going to have a positive cash flow. So many businesses in their first year actually lose. They're not gaining money. So it's important to keep these things in mind when you're setting your goals. They have to be realistic and attainable, but also reach for the stars. So find that middle ground. Something that I have set for myself is a personal goal that I want to perfect my morning routine because I feel like it'll just set me up for success. Not only for the year, but every single day. I just feel like if I can be disciplined enough to maybe get up when I don't want to, exercise when I don't want to, and knowing that it's better for me at the end and getting through those moments of not wanting to, it'll help me be more disciplined, set me up for my day, and in turn, like, make me healthier. That's one of my very big goals in my life, is to just be a healthy human. So if you don't have a morning routine, I I would consider getting one. Maybe that could be a personal goal for you in 2025, is finding what suits you. I mean, we all are in different paths and different places in our lives. So for me, I have a 5-year-old son who likes to get up very early, come into my bed, and lay with me. And this is not very conducive to somebody who wants to get up in the morning, go downstairs, and get on their treadmill or do some exercising or stretches. Because if I'm not there in the morning, he might freak out. But honestly, I don't know yet. So I'm going to try to get up earlier than I think he would get up, go downstairs, do what I need to do, and then start my day. And I don't know how it's going to go until I do it. So instead of saying, oh, well, I have a 5-year-old son, I don't know how he's going to react. I don't think he's going to like it. So I'm just not going to do it. It's easy to do that. But also, kids are pretty resilient. They learn, it's not like he's being left alone or anything. It's just a new routine. And sometimes it takes a little bit to get your routine down and perfect it. So again, just being disciplined in those goals and making sure that even sometimes the days that you don't want to do them, you still do them. So that actually brings me to something I saw on Instagram. An actor was being interviewed and something he said really stuck with me. And he said, I have it here. He said, without commitment, you'll never start. And without consistency, you'll never finish. And I'm actually going to add, without commitment, you'll never start. Without consistency and discipline, you will never finish. I mean, if we take that apart, that saying, without commitment, you will never start. Starting could be the hardest thing for a lot of people. There's a voice, there could be a voice in the back of your head saying that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not handsome enough, you're not ready, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, the list goes on and on. This little voice in the back of your head, you need to kind of kick it in the face. Kick it in the face and tell it to shut up, because that is not who you are. It's not who you are. You're capable. You're capable as long as you believe that you're capable. And when you just start, you don't have to have everything lined up. In 2025, don't worry about the how. Just worry about, what is your goal? I want to own a building. I want to own real estate for investment. Okay. To be honest, I'm really not worried about how, because I'm going to figure it out. I know I'm going to figure it out. That's what I do. So in my process, I'm going to find somebody who knows more about real estate than I do. And I'm going to utilize them as leverage and create resources, find resources, and then figure it out. And then I'll get to my goal. So just start. And it has to be actionable. It can't just be, I'm going to say I'm going to own a real estate property and therefore I'm just going to manifest it into my life. That's not going to happen, especially real estate. So create these actionable, these tangible things that you can do to get you to that place. Find the resources that can tell you and help you to get there. Now, once you start, you have to be committed. Don't dip your toe. Don't half-ass it. Because if you do that, okay, I'm going to go on a side tangent here. I don't believe in keep it secret. Don't talk about it because your enemies are going to know. Fuck that. I'm going to tell everybody and their mother what I'm going to do, because if I don't, that means I don't believe in myself. That means that I'm never going to allow anybody's opinion to affect mine. So even if somebody shits on my idea or puts me down, that does not affect me. I know that the vision in my head was given to me and not them. So take that and run with it. Don't walk, don't jog, run. Run with that idea and make it happen. And you have to be committed. Failure is not a choice. Failure you can't even think about it, because if you do, then there'll be a crack and people can seep into that crack. Your thoughts, your negative thoughts can seep into that crack. Just know that in this process of starting and commitment, again, you have to, and I talked about this before, give yourself grace, because there are going to be ups, there are going to be downs. And when you're down, you have to know that there's going to be an up. Because if you stay down, you're not giving yourself that chance to come back up. So be committed fearlessly. And talking about fearlessly, don't make decisions based off of fear. That's my side tangent. So going back to my morning routine and becoming disciplined in that way and sticking to something that may or may not work. The goal is to get one. The how is up for however it works. If it's not possible because I have a 5-year-old to do in the morning, maybe I drop him off at school and get it done before I start my workday. The how is not important, but the what is. So I just strongly encourage everyone to keep that in mind and take into 2025 how you talk to yourself about these things. When it's so important, how you talk to yourself is means everything. If you are telling yourself that, again, you're not smart enough, you're not handsome enough, you don't know enough, these thoughts, this mindset is not going to get you anywhere. If you have to, read books, listen to podcasts, listen to my podcast. We have to understand that it's normal to have those voices. It's normal. But when they happen, you have to let it go. Let it come, let it go. Typically, so I did learn this recently. Everyone typically has a parent that they wanted more affection from, more love, more affection, more attention. And what that does to us when we're younger is we pay attention to every single thing that parent does and says to us. So if that parent is telling us to do better, we're as adults always going to hear that voice that we need to do better. If that parent is telling us that we're not good enough or we're not smart, that's the voice we're going to hear. So even unintentionally, if a parent is always working, but the younger you kind of wanted more time with that parent, that's also going to affect you as an adult. So understanding where these, I know it's a hot word right now, these triggers are coming from. Triggers are not, they don't have to be this like terrible word. Be curious around that word. I definitely encourage you to be curious around that word because when you think about it, what is triggering you? What is causing you to think that way? There's a reason. There's a reason. And when you find out that reason, it's so much easier to get rid of that negative thought because then you can say, that's not me. That's this person. That's my mom. That's my dad. That's my aunt. That's my uncle that made me feel that way. But it's not true. And if you've never done inner child work, it could also be helpful to just kind of, when you're by yourself, either look in the mirror or you can sit and close your eyes and hug yourself and go back to the younger you and tell that younger you it's okay. You're safe. You're the shit now. You have nothing to worry about. Life is great and you're going to be okay. And screw that person who said that. They're wrong. And by doing this, you really heal that part of you when you were younger, and moving forward in your adult life, you don't hear that voice. And if you do, you get to tell it to back off, kick it in the face, tell it to shut up, and replace it with something positive. I am smart. I can do this. I am the shit. Go back to what you've accomplished. In the beginning of the podcast, we talked about being grateful and remembering how far you've come. Do that. Remind yourself who the hell you are. And I promise you, when you get into that state, you're going to be able to hit the ground running in 2025 and hit your goals. You're going to crush them. And then you can set more and accomplish more. And throughout 2025, I like to do quarterly. I'll do quarterly. And then even in quarterly, do 6, like the half of year and the end of the year. It depends on where I am in hitting my goals. But I typically like to do a goal setting for the whole year for my businesses specifically, and saying what I want to hit as my revenue for the end of the year. And then I'll do quarterly, like I want to be more consistent on social media. I want to be more consistent in education for my staff. I want to have more staff meetings. So these are goals that I'll set throughout the year. And then to help me, I will definitely delegate and make sure that if I can't do everything, that I'm delegating it to team members that can help me accomplish this, because we can't do everything. But setting all of these goals up, writing them down, you must write them down, maybe putting them in a calendar. Jesse Itzler has an amazing, it's called the Big Ass Calendar, literally the Big Ass Calendar by Jesse Itzler. He's one of my favorite entrepreneurs, and he made this big ass calendar that goes on your wall or wherever it can fit because it's huge. And it's the whole year in one glance. And you get to set up your traveling, your family time, and it's, let's say life happens and you have a one-on-one date with your spouse or a mommy and me day, and something comes up and you don't get to make it. He gives you post-it notes. So you don't write it on the calendar, you write it on a post-it note and you put it on the day. And if you can't, you don't cancel it. You reschedule it. You take it off and you put it somewhere else, because those are things that are very important that you're putting on this calendar. So you're not missing them. You're just going to reschedule. And in doing this is what helped me accomplish all of my goals in 2024, is because I color coded, I put them up there, and I made them non-negotiables. And I made it happen. So let's do this. 2025, we're going to write our goals. We're going to write down what we want to accomplish for ourselves, for our business, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to make shit happen, guys. Thank you for coming to my podcast today, and let me know what your goals are. Let me know what you want to accomplish, and let's hit the ground running in 2025. I can't wait to see what you all accomplish. Thanks for coming to the Cameo Renee podcast, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Thanks for being here with me today. It's always appreciated if you would like, share, or drop a comment about what you think. And of course, remember to do what the fuck you want, because you deserve it. See you next time. As always, sending love and positive vibes.